Welcome to the Soul Work, a weekly show where we look at a process, a strategy, a tool, a technique, or a thought for your spiritual growth. My name is Gina. I'm a spiritual teacher, creator of Soul Quest, and the LGBTQ advocate within the spiritual world. In this episode, let's talk about lowering your expectations. I was working with a client the other day, and she said this to me. We were working on her thoughts. I asked her to reflect on the thoughts that she was thinking, and this is what she said to me. I noticed when I was observing my thoughts that I was beating myself up often. I'd set myself goals, targets, and things to achieve, and I was struggling to get there in the time frame that I'd set for myself. I realised that I have a high expectation of myself, and this was causing excess pressure and stress, and it was reducing my productivity and creativity. It's not the first time that I've heard something like that, having high expectations of yourself. Tell me, do you have high expectations for yourself? I know I did. When I used to go and prepare for speaking on stages, what I found was I would write myself a bit of a script, and then I'd sit and I'd learn that script, and then I'd practice it in front of an audience of cats, sat out watching me, and I'd practice it. And I'd worry that when I got up on stage that I might forget a word or a line or a chunk that was really important to the flow. I used to really stress out about that. And then I realised something. Nobody knows my script. Nobody has a clue what I'm going to say in that time that I'm in front of them. Only I know. Well, the cats as well, obviously, but only I know. So if I do forget a word, or if I do forget a line or a chunk, it doesn't matter. As long as the flow is there and I get the main points across, that is what is essential. I realised that I set myself really high expectations when I was preparing to speak. Now, I don't do that anymore. I don't prepare a script, I don't learn it word for word. I aim for the flow. And what I recognised is when I changed the way that I approached this, and I recognised that I was setting myself really high expectations when I didn't really need to, I felt so much more relaxed, at peace, content, and I enjoyed the journey so much more. I thought I'd share that with you. I thought that was quite a fundamental learning point from my journey. Now, I want to talk to you about how to lower your expectations. Okay, let's get going. Instead of writing a to-do list and powering through and then beating yourself up when you haven't done something, do this instead. Aim to do one or two things. Now, this means that you set yourself priorities. So if you work from a to-do list, for instance, or if you have a different way of doing it, you've got a really good idea of what it is that you want to be working on. Set yourself priorities. Go down those things and say, right, these are the top things that I want to be focusing on because they will have so much more impact for me. Choose one or two of those and do those over and above everything else. And what you're doing here is you're actually focusing on your agenda. And a word about this, most people when they wake in the morning, they'll switch on their phones, if they switch them off, they'll look at social media, they'll check their emails. What you're doing is straight away you're jumping into other people's agenda. Instead of doing that, focus on your agenda. What is important to you? For you to get where you want to be and for you to live the life that you want, what are the one or two things that you can do today? And then focus on those. And if you can do other stuff after you've done those one or two things, then great. But if not, you've got nothing to beat yourself up about. You've done those one or two things. Another thought about lowering your expectations is changing the time frame that you've set for yourself. Now, if you change the time frame, what that will do is it'll give you some more space for creativity and reflection, but also those unexpected things that come up. You know, the person that knocks at the door, the phone that rings, the friend that drags you out for a cup of tea during the day, you know, your mum wanting to have a few words with you. That's cool, and don't push that stuff away. That's the important stuff in life. If you change your time frame, so it's not literally, I have to do it all in this chunk of time and there's nothing that can interrupt that. Give yourself some space, experience a bit of life in between. You'll feel so much happier, more content. So change the time frame. Another thought around lowering your expectations is to schedule breaks. And what this will do is, you can go outside or you can do something different, whatever it is, for a short period of time. It's going to refresh you. It's going to help with your productivity, your creativity. It's also going to put things into perspective for you as well. So make sure you schedule some breaks. Don't force yourself to sit there when you're feeling uninspired. Schedule some breaks, get some fresh inspiration, come back to it afresh. One of the most important things that I find about expectations is tuning into your intuition. Your intuition is your internal guidance system. You don't need to know the hows of how everything is going to work out. You don't need to know the hows, it's not important. What's important is that you are present in the moment and you listen to your intuition. Your intuition is speaking to you all the time. If you're not hearing it, it's because you're tuned out from it. So tune into it. It's going to guide you. It's going to tell you what to work on, where to put your efforts, who to speak to, what events to go to. It's going to tell you all of that stuff. Tune into it, listen to it. Use that as your guidance. Another couple of things on lowering your expectations. Presence, being present in the moment. When you're present in the moment, you have no ego. There's no expectations. You're literally present. You're doing the thing that you're doing. You're enjoying every second of it. You're really embracing the moment. Absolute presence is essential when it comes to not only lowering your expectations, but living a healthy, happy, carefree life. You know, it's essential. And I know I talk about it a lot because I fundamentally believe that it's essential. There's no other way of putting it. Okay, lastly then, lowering your expectations. As we've talked about, high expectations, we've all done it at some point. If you're doing it now, don't beat yourself up. It's not a major thing, you can turn it around. Really important, final thing to end on, enjoy the journey. You're here to enjoy life, not to feel stressed because you've not delivered to a deadline or you've got so much to do, you're so overwhelmed, all of that stuff. That's not important. None of that stuff is important. What's important is the journey. Make sure you're enjoying yourself. And if you're not enjoying yourself, ask yourself, why the hell am I not enjoying myself? And once you've figured that out, put it right. Work out how to enjoy the journey. And to work out how to enjoy the journey, get outside, get some fresh air, tune into your intuition. The answers will come. Dead simple. Okay, lowering your expectations. I'm going to recap very quickly. We all set ourselves, at some point, if you're not doing it now, high expectations. I did it with speaking. I've done it with many other areas of my life too. We do it. Don't beat yourself up about it. Just recognise it. And then think, okay, how could I lower my expectations? First thing, aim to do one or two things. Set your priorities. Focus on your agenda. Change the time frame. Give yourself some space for creativity, reflection, those unexpected things that happen. Make sure you schedule yourself some breaks. That's vital. It helps you to refresh. Tune into your intuition, the most important thing. Tune into your intuition. Be present in the moment and enjoy the journey. I'd love to hear what has come up for you as a result of this episode here today. Lowering your expectations. Tell me, where do you set yourself high expectations? What's all that about? Talk to me about it. Join in the conversation. We're over on Facebook. That's where we have all the conversations. You can also join me live on Wednesday. I go live on Facebook, on my Facebook page. I'll put the link in the box below. If you'd like to join us, please do. Wednesday, 4 p.m. GMT, that's UK time. We'll be talking about this episode, lowering your expectations. We'll be talking about any comments, any questions that you have. Post them in the box below. if you can't join us live, bring them live to the call. Let's have a great discussion about it, see what's going on for you. If I can help you any further, give you other ideas, thoughts, strategies, obviously that's where we'll do it. Okay, so that's the live call. That's Wednesday, 4 p.m. Don't forget to check out the next episode of The Soul Work. That's coming up on Sunday, 7 p.m. I'll see you then. Bye for now.